okay. So, hold on.
Let me be your reminder. We will find the beats for this dream.
Maintenance guy came to take our entire toilet out of our apartment, so I left. I came to get coffee. Yep, that's the maintenance guy putting everything out. Our toilet onto the front lawn. Yep, just toilet out on the front lawn. Stupid. Oh my gosh, so I'm just like hiding in the closet right now because I don't want them to hear me. Hopefully you guys can. Oh gosh, but I just walked up, I left the apartment to go get coffee and to get some cleaning supplies. And I just came back and the toilet was out on the front lawn. And I just pulled up and he was like snaking it or whatever. And then I was gathering my stuff to go inside, and then he just turns to me and holds up this pen like, apparently like the people who lived here before us, they had some kids and maybe the kids put a pen down the toilet. I don't know. And then I walked back in the house and there's water on the floor. I just heard them come back in. This is so stupid. Okay, we're gonna try this again. So, yeah, there's no maintenance people coming to take a toilet out of my house right now at this moment. So I think I can be better focused. So one of my friends thought it would be a good idea to do a video of like things that are different between living in Hawaii and me now living in Texas. So this is just my own personal experience, no one else's, just what I experienced living in both places. So I have a list and we're gonna go through them, and I have 10 things that I wrote down. So number one is cost of living. So yeah, everybody, this is like number one question that everybody always asks once they figure out, oh, like, you moved here from Hawaii and why did you leave? And then the next thing is, isn't it always expensive to live over there? And short answer, yeah, it kind of is. So yeah, cost of living, like where we were living was a very different situation comparatively to where we're living now, and we had lots of people helping us out. We had multiple jobs. Devon was in the military, so we had government help, but then yeah, part of my job over there, volunteer job kind of thing, I got a little bit of cut on our rent for where we lived. So we were really blessed with where we lived there, and we could afford it and make it work. But before we were married and before we lived at the last place we lived in Hawaii, yeah, I had to have a lot of roommates, and I lived with my boss and her family for the very first year. I rented a room for like $550, one room per month. So that was kind of crazy to me. And then here in Texas, just to give you a scale, our apartment where we live now has 2 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms, and we're paying about $200 less than we did in Hawaii, where we had all those helps, all the cuts, all the things, and we get more space and more room here for less money, which is kind of nuts. Okay, so number 2 is weather. I'm gonna push this back. More light. Both places can get pretty hot. Yeah, Hawaii is a tropical climate. There's lots of rain and all of that stuff. So here in Texas, it's getting really hot. August was very, very hot, and now we're into September. It's still very hot. I'm waiting for fall stuff to happen because apparently we do get a lovely fall and it cools off. We can even get snow and ice in the winter, so I'm excited. I'm excited for that because I haven't had that in 7 years, and I'm excited. So I think the highest temperature that we've experienced so far in Texas here is about, I think it was 101 degrees one day in August. Around like 4 o'clock it was 101 degrees. And then in Hawaii, obviously tropical, it doesn't change seasons like it changes seasons here on the mainland in a lot of places. And I think it usually stayed between like high 70s to low 90s, if that, for most of the time. Yeah, so there's that. Oh, and also here in Texas, like literally the first weekend we were here, there was a hailstorm. And we got caught in it in a friend's car we were driving. We were borrowing. So sorry, Jim and Annette. But yeah, so that was interesting. Hailstorm, like the first time. There's lots of thunderstorms, lots of lightning. We can apparently get tornadoes. I hope we don't, but those are a thing. We've had a tornado warning. We've had flood warnings since we've been here. It's a lot of weather. Okay, number 3 would be diversity. So, of people, pretty much, and culture. Both places, Hawaii and Texas, are actually very diverse places. Hawaii is really central in the Pacific Ocean, and it's equidistant from like California, east coast, or sorry, not east, the west coast of the United States, plus equidistant to Japan and a lot of Asian countries on the other side. So a lot of people come in and out. A lot of people from Asian cultures, China, Japan, Korea, Filipino people, a lot of that. Plus there's just always the tourists, right, from different countries who want to come and visit beautiful Hawaii because it's awesome. So there's always people from like Germany and Austria and Italy and France and a bunch of European countries, and people just from all over the world come there. Here in Texas, I was actually really surprised. It's very diverse here. Apparently the zip code where we live is like one of the most diverse in the country. Who knew? I had no idea. So that's really cool. But a lot of the people that we meet here are actually from India, which I wasn't expecting. There's a lot of people from India or Indian descent that are here in Texas. So that's very different. I'm learning lots of different names and how to pronounce things, and just lots of different culture from India. So that's been really cool. Okay, so number 4, this may be a weird one to some and I didn't realize, but like the highways and just like driving here in Texas is so different. In Hawaii, like you have limited space. It's a small island. We were on Oahu, but there's other islands too, but a lot of them where we drove was like it's limited space because it's just a tiny rock in the middle of the ocean. So yeah, the roads are actually smaller, like parking spaces are smaller in Hawaii, and like the speed limit is so different. Like in most places in Hawaii it's like 45 or 55 tops. If you get onto a highway, it may be getting closer to 60 or 65, maybe. But that's in like very rare occasions, and you're mainly like driving in smaller areas or like in the big city where it's very close and tight, so the speed limit is really lower down. Like I said. And then here in Texas there's so many highways. It's so spread out that you have to get on big major highways to get anywhere. And for my job, I travel to 3 different cities throughout the week. So I'm traveling 30-40 miles every single day to get to work on big major highways. And like the base speed limit is 70 miles an hour, and people don't go 70, they go like 80, 85. And me, used to like 45 and 50 miles per hour, that's a big jump. And then the other thing is the highways. So in Hawaii, like there's like 3 or 4 major highways on Oahu, and they're all like singular. You can take the Pali, you can take the H3, you can take H1, another H2 another way, right? And they're not crisscrossing on top of each other. Here in Texas, there's like a billion major highways, and they're stacked on top of each other. One place like 5 highways tall. Like 5 giant highways that are like multiple lanes of traffic tall. It's insane to me. So that is taking some getting used to. Okay, so number 5 for me, right, remember this is my opinion, is like the antiquing and thrifting stores, because that's something I love to do. In Hawaii, they were more spread out. There wasn't a lot, or like this, it was like the same kind of stuff that you would get into it, is what I would say. Sometimes you get some weird stuff because tourists, right? And sometimes they drop off stuff, or like their luggage gets dropped off and no one like claims it, so it goes to like a donation center. And so sometimes you can score some really fun stuff, but it's very specific to Hawaii, usually the antique stores there. Here in Texas, it's very specific to Texas, but there's also lots of different influences, like I said, from Indian culture. So there's like saris in the Goodwill lineup, and you can pick some of those stuff up. There's lots of different types of furniture. There's lots of leather. There's lots of cowhide. So that's been interesting to play around and figure out with. Number 6 is food. So in Hawaii, I tried to grow some of our food. I'm trying right now. There's my garden right outside here. Starting to. But in Hawaii, it was a lot more focus on whole foods and more healthy foods for you. Here in Texas, there's a lot of the opposite of that, it seems. People just really like their food to be like fatty, full of cheese and butter, and there's lots of Mexican. Tex-Mex food is very popular, obviously. So yeah, we have a lot of Mexican food options, which is nice, but sometimes you can get burnt out on it because there's so many. And in Hawaii, it was hard to find any kind of good Mexican food. Totally true. So that's a very big difference. We love our Mexican food, and it's something we didn't have when we were in Hawaii. Next, 7, I put clothing. It's just something that I've noticed, something that I've experienced a little bit. At my job here in Texas, I don't really have a specific dress code. I can wear jeans and a t-shirt to work, and that's fine. I can dress up, and that's fine. But like for other people, Texas is much more like buttoned up. There's like ties and suits. Everybody's wearing that everywhere. Ladies are wearing all the suits too, even, and just seeing that is very different. Also in Hawaii, it was more like business casual a lot of the time, like khakis, and then you would wear your aloha shirt, right? Or your aloha wear, like buttoned up, short sleeve. It's hot, right? Buttoned up, short sleeved, floral shirt. A lot of the guys wear those. Yeah, so I could wear my slippers or my flip-flops anywhere. I could wear those to work. I could wear those to school. Here, not so much. People don't really wear those out unless you're a kid, like going to a little party or something. But yeah, here there's a lot of boots I've seen. There's much more like, especially for guys, like leather shoes. Not totally like big old tall cowboy boots, but like really nice like dressed leather shoes for guys. There's a lot of those, and they wear those all over the place. 8, landscape. Number 8 is landscape. So in Hawaii, it's beautiful. There's the beaches, you have the tropical forests, right? There's mountains, awesome, beautiful, amazing mountains that don't exist anywhere else in this world. I'm pretty sure of it. And they're gorgeous, and I miss them so much. The mountains are like one of my things that I miss so much about Hawaii. Here in Texas, it's real flat. There's no mountains. There's barely any like hills. how you get up high, I guess, on a hill would be like going onto the highways. There's your hills. So that's taking a lot of getting used to. It's much more dry here in Texas, and hot. Dry and hot. The ground is like cracked and brown a lot of places. There are some trees, don't get me wrong, but it's a lot more dry and not as beautiful and lush as Hawaii. Number 9. Maybe you can hear it going right now. I can definitely feel it, but it's beautiful air conditioning. Thank you, Jesus, for air conditioning. Yeah, so most people don't really realize or don't know this about Hawaii, but a lot of people in their homes don't have air conditioning. And like in the school where I was teaching in my church, we didn't have air conditioning except for in the teacher's lounge and the main office and my music and art office when I was teaching there. So all the classrooms were open air. They just had fans and then they had open windows. And that's pretty much like the norm for a lot of people in Hawaii, unless you have a lot of money and you can pay for a lot of air conditioning, you know, because again, it's expensive, cost of living, all that electricity. So here though, it's so hot, like 90 to 100, multiple over 100 degree heat, that if we did not have air conditioning, it would be completely miserable and like horrible for your health, I'm sure. Number 10. This may be a weird one and maybe I'm stretching here a little bit, but I think it's true. Like in Hawaii, when you're out and about, like just like walking outside, there's lots of chickens walking around and lots of feral cats walking around too. And then there's also like mongooses, I don't know how to say plural, but mongoose, there's a lot of those too, especially in town. There's more of them in town, in Honolulu area, Waikiki area, mongoose. So that's what I was used to for 7 years. And then coming here, there's none of that. There's maybe like 1 cat I've seen or 2 cats I've seen out. But then there's also squirrels. I miss squirrels. I didn't realize I would miss squirrels, but I have. And it's cool to see squirrels again. Then there's also lots of different types of birds. There's lots of crows. I've seen some hawks out and about, which is really cool. I saw some vultures, I think, the other day, which was weird. And then I've recently been seeing lots of dragonflies. There's like a huge dragonfly influx out there. So many. I think I saw maybe 10 dragonflies like right outside my door when I was doing my laundry the other day. So I don't know. Anyway, I just find that that's super different and stuff that people don't really think about or maybe even know if you haven't lived in multiple different places, and just stuff that I've seen from moving from Hawaii here to Texas now. So that's my list. Crushed it. 10 things that are different between living in Hawaii and living in Texas. I hope you guys. What's this?
This is one of the practice welds that I've done in welding school. This is a 1G with stick welding with 3/8 inch plate, and beveled at 45 degrees with a 1/4 inch root cap. I think that's what it's called. Yeah, root cap.
It's a good job. Yeah. Good job. I like that your name's on it. It's real pretty.